Hi, I'm Tanya from unraveledmotherhood.com, and today I want to talk to you about reasons you should consider breastfeeding your child. So I know there's lots of conversations about feeding your child, and first of all I want to say you shouldn't feel guilty for whatever way you choose to feed your child. Again, with everything motherhood, there's going to be a pro and a con to everything, and sometimes the benefits of something are going to greatly outweigh the cons, and sometimes it's going to be the other around, and every situation is going to be different. So I'm in no way promoting any shame for moms who don't choose to breastfeed. I just want to encourage moms who are considering breastfeeding, or maybe they're intimidated by breastfeeding, maybe they have a family member who's really pushing them to bottle feed. You are the mother, and you need to get the research or the information, I don't want to say research, the information you need to make the best choice for you. And don't let anybody's guilt or opinions cause you to make a decision you don't want to make. So there's a lot of talk going on about fed is best. And so I don't love that phrase because fed is the baseline. Fed is expected. And that's kind of what the truth is. Fed is expected. We know that breastfeeding has so many benefits. So breastfeeding is best. Now, it might not be best for your situation, and that's a different story. But if you can look at the components of formula and breast milk is specifically tailored to the baby. So breast milk is going to be best. Now, depending on the situation, whether it be work, whether it be other circumstances, parenting situations. Obviously, my stepson, I didn't breastfeed him because I wasn't even his mom at the time. And so there's different situations where breastfeeding might not be the best option for your family, but you should know all of the reasons why you could consider breastfeeding, because you don't want to make a decision just based on other people's opinions. You want to know all the facts. So the first reason to consider breastfeeding is because it's free. There is no cost to breastfeeding. You can invest as little or as much as you want into breastfeeding, so you might get things like nursing covers. Actually, I will show them later. Nursing covers, there's nipple butters if you are considering that. But all those things are kind of unnecessary. You really only need yourself and your child to breastfeed. And so it's free. The second reason to breastfeed is because it's convenient. And so when you have bottles, and trust me, I have used formula before with my first born to me. We had to do formula at some point because she wasn't breastfeeding well. So bringing formula is a whole ordeal in itself. When you breastfeed, all you have to pack is your diaper bag, which has the diapers, clothes, whatever you need, and then you have the milk already on you. It's always on you. And so some people might see that as a con because other people can't breastfeed for you, but I see it as a plus, because if you're like me and you get distracted easily, you can't forget the milk. You really can't. The third reason to consider breastfeeding is because it's actually a really good way to prevent pregnancy. So this will depend on your cycle, and there's lots of things you gotta figure out with your body and your metabolism and all these things, but breastfeeding can act as a form of contraception, and sometimes people get pregnant while breastfeeding, but a lot of times when people are nursing frequently, they will not get pregnant because of the hormones in your body that you need to make breast milk. So if you are thinking, I don't quite want to get pregnant yet, then breastfeeding might be a great option to help prevent pregnancy. Another reason to consider breastfeeding is because it has the nutrients your baby needs. So when your baby is sick, your milk adapts to what your baby needs. And so it's a great way to, when your child is sick, to constantly just breastfeed them. It's not like formula where it's one set ingredients and that's it. It actually works kind of like antibiotics. It helps your baby to fight off whatever they are dealing with. So there's lots of sound right now. Hopefully you can hear this. but that's another reason to consider breastfeeding. Another reason to consider breastfeeding is because it's a time to bond with your child. Now, there's not a lot of times where you're going to be forced to sit there with your child or lie there with your child. And so this is an opportunity to really enjoy your time being really close to your child. Your child is literally attached to you. Your bodies are touching. You have to be touching to breastfeed. And so this is a time to really enjoy your child and bond with them and just soak in this time where your child needs you on such a deep level. Obviously, your child's going to need you forever, but there's just a certain connection and bond you have when you breastfeed your child. And so enjoy that bond and just use this time to just soak in all the snuggles, because your children might not want to snuggle you when they're bigger, speaking from experience. And last of all, breastfeeding can also help you lose some of that weight in the very beginning. Breastfeeding obviously takes up calories, and I do not condone breastfeeding to lose weight necessarily. Personally, I hold on to extra like 8 or 10 pounds while I'm breastfeeding frequently, especially during the nights. But it's a way to, it does help to burn off some of that initial fat. So when you are breastfeeding, you're gonna burn some calories, and then you're gonna have to make up those calories. So definitely make sure you're eating enough, and definitely make sure you're not hungry. Like, feed yourself. If you need to eat, because sometimes when we're first breastfeeding, we can just be like starving. It's like we're pregnant again, or you're hungrier than you were when you were pregnant. But anyways, so I hope all these reasons for breastfeeding are helpful to you, because breastfeeding is a really great experience. It can be really difficult, and I understand that as well. And so if you are struggling with breastfeeding, or if you're having a hard time, do not hesitate to reach out. Reach out to friends, reach out to lactation consultants in your area, and there's lots of online resources to help you figure out things like latch, any kind of breastfeeding difficulties. And you can, even if you've tried breastfeeding and you gave up early, or it was just too hard, or you felt stressed, or you had a traumatic birth, you can also relactate if you're considering that. If your baby is still young enough to nurse frequently, you can also relactate, and that's an option too, and there's lots of resources to help. So check out your resources in your local area. If you're on Facebook, you can check local groups, and just be sure to reach out. If you need anything, you can reach out to me at unraveledmotherhood@gmail.com, and I would love to chat with you over there or on Instagram. And I hope that you have a wonderful day. I hope this video was a blessing to you, and if it was, please like and subscribe. Thanks.